we're back with another episode of I Heard That. I'm Tanya.
I'm Tina.
And I'm Charlotte.
Once again, we're back reviewing additional books, and this week is no different. If you like our shows, we ask that you please hit the subscribe button and also hit our links for both our Facebook and our Twitter page. This week we are reading Dhata Mays, a futuristic crime thriller, The Synth Crisis Book 0 by Greg Dragon. All right, so a little bit about this book, Dhata Mays. It received 4 stars on Kindle Unlimited and 3.98 on Goodreads. And I bring this up at the beginning because at the end when we rate the book, we like to see if we are in line with how other viewers received it or reviewed it, or if we're somewhere else. And some of the books we've done,
We're usually somewhere else.
We're somewhere else. we okay with that.
We are so okay
We're
with
so
that.
okay with that.
This book was originally published January 26th of 2018. It is the first book, but I didn't see the other books. Like, this is 0. Was there a book 1, 2, or 3 that came after this?
Yeah, this is book 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so this is, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they had come out. So they've come out, and this book is also available on Audible. So if you are one of our Audible readers and would like to listen in, once again, you can also get the book that way. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here we are again with Dhata Mays. Tina, you picked this book.
So this author, Greg Dragon, is one of my favorite authors. I like a lot of his books. He has a lot of traditional sci-fi books where there is things that happen out in space, and there's like wars and fighting and all of that action and all the rest of it. But this book is a futuristic book in the near future where there's a big war that happens and the society has changed a lot. And one of the things in this book is that in order to fight the wars, people made synthetic people. And these synthetic people look very much like humans, and they sometimes people get confused about it or whatever else. And the racism or the speciesism about the fact that they're not really human, they're not really real, and everything that kind of goes along with it. He's a detective, and they have a lot of slang in this book. So like detectives are called Johns as an example. The detective is trying to solve a murder around a Sith murder, and nobody cares. The police department don't care. It's all a bunch of stuff like that. There's a lot of cool stuff like this. Like a synthetic human. That's they call it synthetic sense. And it's like a lot of stuff going on. I personally found this book to be action filled. I like the idea of what the technology is. Like Tanya talked about in another book, it is definitely a lot of imagination. But I like it. That's one of the reasons I liked it so much. So I thought it was pretty thrilling in the interpersonal relationships.
Okay, so, and you see I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give my rating at the back of the book. I read this book and all I could think was iRobot. Okay. This was the iRobot. I mean, it's not, but in terms of this is a society where humans have been fully integrated with synthetic people, and if you read or saw the iRobot movie, one of the synthetic individuals gets murdered, and they pull somebody who then began, a detective, to then began to investigate the murder. So when I first started reading this is what I was like, this is iRobot. AI is a lot further along than we think, but I'm not gonna get into that in my conspiracy theories. Okay, so
are you doing conspiracy theory? Oh my God, you guys! Tanya is the queen of conspiracy theories. This is not enemy of the state. Stop it.
Wait a minute, how far along AI is right now?
Okay.
I argue with this when I live in my job all the time.
Okay.
We're gonna get into this.
Okay.
So, but for the sake of this book, I liked it. First of all, you know I like a good whodunit.
Yes.
I liked a good whodunit. It was interesting to me, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think that the descriptions of the people, they could have been anybody.
Yes.
This is one of the books where normally they'll be like, oh, he was black, he was white, he was this, he was that, or she had blue hair, but her hair was black. And at the end of it, it was just like none of that mattered.
Nope.
So the only thing that you were really focusing on was their interactions with one another. So it takes out all of whatever your preconceived notions or prejudices would be, because it was simply about the people. I give kudos to him on that.
Yeah, I think that it was like, I thought that, like one of the, like this book, I read the 1, 2, and 3 before I read this book, but I don't know why. I didn't know this book came because this is a shorter book than the other novels, so I won't go into those. But I like his character because he's a stand-up guy. So like he's the kind of guy like he's like I know I want to be a little dirty, but I can't be dirty, and I'm trying to do the right thing, and I've got this other stuff going on. So he's got a partner who he really appreciates and likes and deals with. He's got a captain that he kind of respects but kind of doesn't respect. And he doesn't trust anybody. Because he's literally somebody who is like on the outskirts of the detectives, the police. He's on the outskirts of the politicians. He's on the outskirts of the hoodlums and the thugs or whatever, the gangsters. He's on the outskirts of all of that. And then he's accepted in all of these different areas. They all want a piece of him.
Yes.
They all want a piece of him. So when you said I, Robot, Tanya, I'm like, dang, that's it. I mean, this is not our robot.
It's not.
He has his own story. Greg did a fantastic job with his own story, but it's exciting like that. It's like it's really riveting. It's really action packed and everything, which I liked.
Yeah, I mean, it kept it going. It kept it going.
Yeah.
And even the detective was giving me hints of my favorite detective in the Hugh Holton books.
Yeah.
Not so much the guy from James Patterson,
right?
But in that strong kind of guy, really smart, on the fringe. And you're absolutely right. He was able to seamlessly go into all of these different communities and spaces without ever necessarily being a part of any of them.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because he weaved in and out, and all of them liked him, but I don't think any of them really knew him.
Right. I think that he is like he knew himself enough to know I'm the kind of guy that can't be in this kind of stable relationship, because what you're expecting from me, I'm not going to be able to give it to you.
Right.
But I can give you this. I respect the heck out of that.
Yes,
like I can give you this.
That.
I can give you this. He, like the fact that he had some, like, talked about like when he was being raised, when he was growing up, and how they were treating synthetic people. And he was like, I know this person who basically raised me, who did all this stuff to me, and then I see somebody kicking them or throwing rocks at them and doing all of this kind of stuff. And then, there were people who were a religious order that's part of this, and like just doing some really whack, crazy stuff. It all kind of comes out. And I also like the fact that while he may get out of something, it's never easy. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes when you're like, especially when like Tanya talks about, we are Marvel, DC kind of people. We love the superheroes and all that kind of stuff. And superheroes, they're never really, really down, right?
Right.
There's something always miraculously gonna happen. Oh, he kind of gets beat up a little bit, and he doesn't always come out clean by himself. It's always other things that happen. So I found it. I found it was a really good, the basis of this is a crime novel. Yeah. It's a good crime novel on top of having futuristic elements.
I thought it was interesting that he used the quote unquote church.
Yeah.
As being kind of the antagonist, the villain of this story, if you will. Yes, they were cult-like.
They was a cult.
And they were also kind of racist. Well,
so
let me just go back and say, because I'm not trying to say that I'm down with the cult, but I kind of get the argument, if it is a synthetic or an android, do you really look and see and treat them as if they're human? Not saying that, and so that becomes, and I'm not, once again, not trying to get y'all deep into my AI theories, but that becomes...
Okay, so as a contract person, keep going, Tanya.
But that becomes... a thing, but what I was gonna say was, it's interesting that they used the church, because our church then became a symbol of hope. Like, we had lost so much in the war, and here is this church giving us this message of how we could take it back and be empowered. The problem was, it was twisted.
Okay, so
it was so twisted.
So when I was reading that, I swear to God, I thought about Trump. So I thought about the fact that make America great again, which is all about this idyllic point in time that America was this great thing. And that's kind of what this guy was saying. You know, if you trust in me, you give me your spirit, you give me all your money, you do all of these great things for me, then you should know that I'm gonna help make things better, like the way they used to be. So his draw is that, you know, the country is desolate. I mean, it's like, you know, so stuff has been irradiated. There's like there's no real meat anymore, right? So if you are very, very rich, you can have real meat. Otherwise, you eat some kind of synthetic meat thing that can be shaped, right, that can be shaped to look like a steak or chicken or whatever, and it's supposed to taste like that. So you got somebody who's saying like, hey, if we just got rid of all of these synthetic people, we could have the country that we wanted to have. So that's a very much. So when I was reading it, I was like, this is very point on time on this, and the way that they were talking about it was through a religious order, trying to give people, like Tanya said, still in their hope from this. So it was just a really good, it was like really good sophisticated elements throughout the book, as well as a great crime novel.
Left me a couple of nuggets that I kind of was like, okay, I wanted to know where it went from there, some pieces, which I didn't know that there was a book 1, 2, or 3, so I'm glad to know that. But the part, because you know, I'm always like, well, what's the part that I want to prove? I wanted, like, it was a little anticlimactic to me.
Right, okay.
Because it's like, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Spoiler.
So now it comes to the song, right? Okay.
So, you know, I'm the girl who likes Fast and Furious, and we gonna blow some stuff up. Blow it up. If you're gonna take down the crime lord and all his minions, I really wanted them to take them down. Now, while they did get arrested, I wanted it to be, you know, let's knock in the door, rustle some people, stab them. I don't know.
Then you need to read the rest of the book.
Okay.
Because it gets into it. I'm telling you, it draws you in.
Okay.
It's a good.
Okay.
It's a good.
I'll accept that.
Yes.
I will accept that.
Yes.
I will accept that.
It's a good crime series. Trust me.
I'm like, so they didn't smash.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things he kind of leaves. It's kind of wrapped up. It's not a book that leaves that you read and it's on a cliffhanger.
It's not a cliffhanger, but
right.
But
there's elements that are still there that you're still thinking about.
Yes, there's some nuggets.
And the one thing I was going to say about this book that I like a lot is that when you have a really strong character like the central character Dhata Mays, when you have a really strong character like this and it's written well, you keep thinking about like different elements, like what it's going to do next, how it's going to work out, or whatever else. And so to me, that's always a hallmark of a really good, a really well-written book and a well-written series, which is what Greg Dragon does in this series. I think that's what he does. I was thinking about some of the other books we've read. Some of those characters, you know, like you just want to keep seeing them over and over again. Like a lot of these series, you know, it's one book is about one person, and the next book is about another person, or whatever else. All those books are all about him.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Great discussion once again, ladies. Great discussion. Like we say, ladies, we read all kind of books. So I know it seems like we do more romance. I don't even know how that happened, but we promise to give you a bigger spectrum. So I'm so glad that Tina once again picked up this, what do we call it? Sci-fi?
Yeah, sci-fi. It's a sci-fi crime story.
Thriller, whatever.
Thriller.
Yeah. So I'm glad that she.
It's not weird.
I'm glad that she chose this one because we don't want you guys to think that the only thing that we do is wrong. Yeah. So we read it all. So once again, thank you guys for joining the conversation. And as you always know, we like to wrap it up with our "How do you rate the book?"
So I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm going to give it a 9.
And I would have said an 8.
Okay.
I would have said an 8. Would you read the rest of the series?
Yes, I'm going to read the rest of the series just so I'll know his writing style. I actually like how he did this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
See, it makes me want to read them because, like I said, there were questions that are left unanswered for me.
Right.
And so now I'm like, okay, so what happened to that spaceship in the woods?
Girl, Okay.
You can't talk about that. Spoiler.
Okay, I'm
This is
just
where the
saying.
song comes in. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I'm just saying, stuff is good. It gets
So
better
I
and
got
better
some
and
other
better.
questions that he got my
Yes.
little Easter eggs that he just left the little nuggets for me to go find.
Yes.
So
You
yes,
want-
I would read the extra books. Wonderful book once again, Dhata Mays by Greg Dragon. We read the prelude, if you will, book
Right.
0. There are three other books in the series, and this book is also on Audible, so you can read it or listen to it. And this is a book that we would recommend.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Thank you guys once again for hanging out with us and joining our conversation. Please hit the subscribe button and also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. The links are below. This has been another episode of I Heard That. Bye guys, and thanks
Bye.
for stopping by.
Deuces.